We got a few more minutes here. We want to talk some high school football with our friends up there from the Greater St. Helens League. And Bryan Levesque joins us. Hey, Bryan, thanks for taking the time out for us this evening.
Well, thanks for having me on.
So why don't we recap what happened last Friday? What's going on in the world of GSHL football?
Well, pretty much would be our big game, our game of the week last year that everybody looked at was Camas was hosting Mountain View. Both of them play in our 3A, again, that's equivalent of your 5A down there in Oregon. And this one, most of the people that we have, these experts, guys that help me run the site that pick, and we all picked Camas, but everybody thought it was going to be a really close game, and Camas ended up taking that one at home 31-0. It was kind of surprising. All of us had thought that the one advantage Camas had over Mountain View was their ability to stretch the field vertically with wide receiver Jonathan Warner, who's the son of Seahawk Kurt Warner, and he did just that. He ended up having 10 catches for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had a 40-yard touchdown called back where he ran a post corner, and the defender hugged him, and he still got out of it, caught up to the ball, caught it, but they called that one back. But hey, 31-0, you'll take it. So that was kind of the big game of the night. The other one that was kind of we didn't necessarily see this one come was Columbia River went up to Kelso, 2 other 3A schools, so those were the only 2 league games going on. And Columbia River put it to Kelso. They ended up winning that one 40-12. They got up 40-0 late in the third quarter. They had 3 guys each drop a couple touchdowns on there. Darius Rayford had 2 rushing touchdowns. Quarterback Clayton Frank had 2, and then their big stud Remick Kawaki, who's only a junior, and he's a kid that could be a Pac-10 running back. We don't get a lot of Pac-10. We get some linemen, at times, but this kid's pretty special, and he also had 2 rushing touchdowns. So those were kind of the 2 games that jump off the board. We had a couple other things. One, not so pretty, was Lakes out of Tacoma came down and took on Evergreen, and Lakes right now is ranked number 2 in state. And the only reason they're not a number 1 team is, he said Bellevue is ranked 13th in the country, sitting right ahead of them at number 1. They took care of Evergreen 49-6. Skyview, who's one of our better teams, they barely lost to Sherwood, one of your guys, week 2 at home. They lost them 27-24. Obviously, Sherwood, a defending state champion. Skyview went on the road to Coeur d'Alene on a Saturday, and they took it on the chin 52-14. Last year, Coeur d'Alene won the state championship. Their only loss was here at home on a Saturday to Skyview, so that one didn't quite end up the way we thought it might go. A couple other big things. Prairie quarterback Colin Seitz threw 6 touchdowns as they beat Hawkinson on the road 55-7. Heritage exploded for 3 touchdowns in just over a minute at home to take out Mark Morris 36-14. They had a fumble return for a touchdown early in the game, and then they had an interception return, and they scored a couple quick ones on a fumble kickoff by Mark Morris. So Heritage is a 4A school, again, like your 6A, and Mark Morris a 2A school. So that was, but last year Mark Morris had defeated Heritage. And then Union went up to Enumclaw, and one of the biggest performances was Gabe Rigo, who's normally a safety / wide receiver, stepped in at running back and had over 140 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns, plus caught a 60-plus yard touchdown pass in that one. So he filled in for a couple injured running backs and ended up putting 5 touchdowns as they beat Enumclaw 49-7. And Washougal with the big 56-0 win over Columbia. And Ridgefield beat Woodland, and R.A. Long beat Hudson Bay 21-0. So it's kind of what happened.
Hey, Bryan, real quick, we got about 30 seconds left here. Tell us about the broadcast we can hear on 1550 this Friday.
2 good games. Mountain View is taking on Prairie. That one's going to be a good one. And then Skyview and Heritage last year went overtime. Should be a great game.
Thanks for your time, Bryan. We're looking forward to that. You can catch those games on our sister station, AM 1550, Vancouver's talk station. And it's exciting to have GSHL football back on the radio here in the greater Pacific Northwest. And Bryan Levesque's website can be found at gshlfootball.com.